So in this video is basically a start for vector calculus. Vector calculus. Okay. So without vector calculus, mathematics is just like a just like a mane, candle without spark. Okay. So before start vector calculus, you have to know about vector algebra. And before vector algebra, you have to know matrix. Okay, so matrix you need to, and you will it will very much need for you. Okay, so let's start from I will start from vector algebra. Okay, and from basic to advanced we will reach out from basic to advanced. Okay, we will reach from basic to advanced. So for vectors, vector, what is the vector? Now vector is a quantify having both magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction. Okay, so direction as such as force, velocity, acceleration. Example just say force, velocity, and direction. Okay. So these are the vector. Okay, and definitions of parallel and axial vector. What will be that the polar vectors are definitions of, let's say, after that, polar vector. What is the polar vector? So in polar vector associated with linear directional effect. Okay, so associated with linear directional effect. Linear directional effect are called polar effect, are called polar vectors. Polar vectors. Okay, and the example of polar vectors are force, acceleration, and linear velocity. So force, acceleration, linear velocity. Okay, these are the things. Okay, this is polar vector. And axial vector. What do you mean by axial vector? So say in axial vector associated with rotation about an axis, it is associated with rotation about an axis. Okay, axis are called axial vectors, are called axial vector. Okay, and addition of after that, when you will reach step and one step above, then definitely you will find that addition of vectors. Addition of vector. Okay, so addition of vector, basically let's say this is a vector. Okay, and this is b vector. Definitely then this is also connected from tail to tail, from O to B. Okay, this is name O, this is A, and this is B. Okay, so OB is basically a vector plus of B vector. This is called OB. and this is called AB. So let's say let A vector and B vector are two given vector, are two given vector. Okay, given vectors OA is equal to what? OA is equal to A vector and OB is equal to and AB is equal to B vector. AB is equal to B vector. Okay, and OB is equal to A vector plus of B vector. So a vector plus of B vector. Okay, so here we can say that OA vector plus of AB vector is equal to OB vector. Okay, OB vector. Remember that. So we can write that A vector plus of B vector is equal to OB vector. Clear? It is. Now rectangular resolution of a vector. So for a rectangular resolution of a vector, rectangular resolution of a vector, what will be the rectangular resolution of a vector? What it will be? So in the rectangular resolution vector, let's say this is x-axis, this is this is x-axis, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. Okay, so these are the two axes, and and uh, this, let's say take a point x, y, and z. This point is x, y, z. So from point A to B, this is the point. Let's say this is the point A to B. Okay, and x, y, z, and another point here on x, y plane. This is x, y plane. Okay, so this is x, y plane. Okay, and x comma y. This name is x comma y, and this is x, y, z, and connecting with let's say this is a point A point here, point A to this is A point. Okay, so this is A point, and connecting xyz to xy plane, xyz plane to connected xy plane. Okay, okay, and after that I'm giving the name of this is x y, and so it will be x of I cap, it will be y of j cap, it will be z of k cap. Okay, and this is r vector. Okay, this is r vector, and this is z of k vector, and and for this is the point B, and giving name x of I. Okay, and this is a j vector, j cap, this is j vector, j cap. Okay, and this point is the point, whole point is giving O name. Okay, and that's the things. Okay, so this point is giving name A, and a k vector, j vector, and all kind of names. Okay, and I am giving this, and this is point, this is C point. Okay, so if OP, O, and P, this point is giving name P. Okay, so if OP is equal to n cap, yeah, and coordinates of P, and PB x, y, and z. Okay, so OA vector is equal to x of I vector, OB vector is equal to y of j vector, and OC is equal to OC vector is equal to Z of K vector, which I already written here. So OP is equal to, we can say that OF, this is the name F, okay. So the OP is equal to OF and FP and FP. So OP from O to from point P is equal to OF plus of FP. Okay, clear it is. So after that OP becomes what? OP vector plus of OA vector. OA vector. OP becomes OA vector plus of OB vector plus of OC vector. Okay, clear it is. It's clear. So as per these things, it will be what? It will be comes out around R vector is equal to X of I cap plus Y of J cap plus Z of K cap. Okay, so that's the main thing will be come out. So now OP square is equal to OF square plus of FP square. Lambda square is equal to Bhumi square plus OT square. So OF, what OF means? Here we are find that OF means here you can see that OA square plus AF square. OA square plus AF square plus of FP square. Okay, so it will be around OA square plus of OB square plus of OC square. Okay, so it will be X square plus of Y square plus of Z square. X square plus Y of square plus of Z square. So now OP is equal to root over of X square plus Y square plus of Z square. Okay, so unit vector of R vector, its unit vector R vector will be root over of X square plus of Y square plus of Z square. Clear it is. And where OP is equal to what? OP denoted is R vector. So you can see that R vector is equal to what? R vector is equal to this. You can see it. Unit vector. And after that, next step is unit vector. Unit vector. So unit vector, let B of xi, let B of xi vector plus of y j vector plus of z k vector. Sorry, k cap. I am speaking a little more wrong. No matter. So it will be k cap. So unit vector will be let's say x of I cap plus of y of j cap plus of z of k cap. Okay, divided by root over of x square plus y square plus of z square. Okay, so that's the thing. And let's say as per the theorem, let's say taking an example, let's say solve an example. example that if a vector and b vector, okay, be to a unit vector okay, and the alpha be the angle between them, and alpha be the angle between them, okay, angle between them, then find the value of alpha, then find the value of alpha uh, such that such that such that a vector plus of b vector is a unit vector, is a unit vector, okay. So let's say prove it. So প্রথমে আইটা বলা দিতে হবে। so so here given that that two vectors between a vector. So let's say this is a angle between vectors of the, so I first I have to create an let's say this is this is a o a and b name, okay. So this is also an angle, this is an angle, this is angle, and this is a vector, this is b vector, this is a vector, and this is an c vector, which is represent that a vector plus of b vector is equal to c vector, okay. A vector plus of b vector is equal to c vector. So as per the things let oa, okay, oa is equal to a vector, and be the unit vector, be the unit vector, and ab is equal to b vector, right here is another unit vector, another unit vector, okay, and alpha be the angle between, and alpha be the angle between a and b, a vector and b vector, okay. So if ob vector is equal to c vector, then it will be definitely a vector plus of b vector, okay, is also unit vector, is also unit vector, it's also a unit vector. Then we have what we have OA vector, sorry, then we have OA vector is equal to 1, OB vector is equal to also 1, and OB vector is equal to 1, and OC vector is also equal to 1, okay. Sorry, OB vector is also multiple times, OB vectors will be also 1. So as per the thing, so O, A and B is an equilateral triangle, is an equilateral triangle. So hence each angle of delta, hence each angle of delta of OAB will be is pi by 3, okay. So it will be pi by 3. Position vector of a point, next point is position vector of a point. You have to find out that the position vector of a point. so the position vector, if you try to find out let's say the position vector of a point A with respect to origin O, with respect to origin O is the vector, okay. Let's say I have to draw a picture here. Let's say this is this point is giving name O, this point is giving name A, and this is point B, same. Okay, and from point, and this is a point giving this point is name B, so this is B vector, and this is also, no, sorry, B hat, and this is A hat, and this is nothing. Okay, so at the, so let O be the origin, let O be the origin. Okay, origin, and O, origin and O. So OA is equal to basically A vector, and OB is basically B vector, and similarly OA plus of AB, definitely it will be what? It will be OB. So we can say that AB vector is equal to OB minus of OA vector. So it will be what? It will be B vector minus of A vector. So AB position vector of B. So AB is equal to position vector, position vector, ঠিক আছে, position vector of B minus position vector of A, vector of A, ठीक है, position vector of B minus of position vector of A. Clear it is? चलो इसके बाद एक एग्जांपल कर लेंगे, बहुत एग्जांपल, इफ यू डिड लिटिल मोर एग्जांपल with this, and definitely it will help you, okay, long term. So if A and B are 3, 4 and 5, okay, and 6, 8 and 9, so find AB vector. You have to draw out that the find of AB vector. So what will be? So AB will be what? AB will be the position vector of B minus of position vector of A. So position vector of B minus of position vector of A. ठीक है, position vector of B minus of position vector A. So position vector of B is what? Basically it is given that 6 I cap plus 8 and j cap plus of 9 k cap, okay, minus of position vector of A, yani 3 I cap minus plus of A 4 j cap plus of 5 k cap. Okay, so after that it will be that 6 3 I cap plus 4 j cap plus 4 k cap. Okay, so it will be the ultimate answer. Answer is here you can see the answer. Okay, the answer, this is the answer. Now it will become that the another ratio of vector, okay, vector form. So what will be the ratio of the vector form? So let's say this is a, this is point, this point is naming A, this is point B, and drawing and this point is giving O point, and connecting them OA and OB, sorry, OB. Okay, so this is, and giving this point is C, and connecting C. Okay, so little more wrong, I think wrong, doing wrong, so no matter. So this point, and from A to C is giving name M, and C to B is giving name N, and this point is O. Okay, so let to find the vector positions of the derived to joining the endpoints. Okay, so let A and B 2 point, okay, A and B 2 point, and 2 point, and A point C and A point C divides divides AB in the ratio of M is to N. Here you can see that it is divided M into N ratio. So so here you can see that it is divided with the M into N ratio. So let O be the origin, okay. Then OA vector is basically A vector. This is A vector, okay. And OB vector is basically B vector, okay. OB vector is equal to B vector, and OC vector is equal to C vector. জিজ্ঞাসা find out that the ratio of the formula OC vector is equal to জিজ্ঞাসা, you have to find out. So OC vector is equal to OA vector plus of AC vector, okay. So it will be the comes out that OA vector plus of M divided by M plus of N into AB vector. So at the অতএব AC is equal to M divided by M plus of N into AB vector, okay. So that's the main reason. And after that A vector plus of M divided by M plus of N and dot B vector minus of A vector, okay. যেহেতু AB vector is equal to B vector minus of A vector, okay, minus of A vector. So OC vector will be, what will be come out? So OC vector will be that M into B vector plus of N into A vector by M plus of N. And for agar if এমন হয় যদি that said that if M is equal to N is equal to 1, then C will be the midpoint, okay. Will be the midpoint, and OC vector, definitely OC vector will be A vector plus of B vector divided by 2. Product of two vectors, what will be next point? Product of two vector, the product of two vector. So product of two vector result in two different ways. One is a number and another is a vector. So there are two types of product and two types of vector, namely a scalar product and a vector product. So product, and definitely there is a two type, which is scalar product, and another is vector product. ঠিক আছে, there is two types. Let's say a scalar product হচ্ছে A dot B vector is scalar product, and vector product হচ্ছে A vector cross of B vector, this is vector product. Clear? Understand? So let's say a scalar product or dot product. A scalar product is also called dot product. A scalar product, scalar dot, or it's also called a dot product. So here you can see that the scalar product, so the scalar or dot product of two vectors defined that, let's say this is A vector and this is B vector, okay. It's also defined A vector B vector of cos theta. If the scalar of the scalar or dot product dot product, the scalar dot product of two vectors, of two vectors, okay, two vectors, a vector and b vectors, okay. A vector and b vectors is defined to be mm, this. So a scalar where theta is the angle between a vector and b vector, where theta is the angle between a vector and b vector. So symbolically, how you will present it? Basically, a vector on dot of b vector is equal to modulus of a vector modulus of b vector cos theta. This will, you can symbolically you will present it. Okay. So this is a two type of vector. This is also a dot product. Okay. So this is dot product. You can see it. So due to dot product, due to dot between a vector and b vector, this product is also called dot product. You can write one line that due to due due to dot product uh, dot product between a vector and b vector, okay, a vector and b vector, this product is also called, this product, this product is also called dot product. Okay, clear it is. So 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 it is not just like a statement. Mathematics is depend on, its base is depend on proof. Okay, without evidence you cannot say that it is a dot product or cross product. How you can say that a dot b is equal to ab cos theta? Why? And what is the logic? So let's say, let's prove. I'm going to prove here. So this is a vector giving that o and a, okay, and this is another point of ob, o to b, and this is angle is theta, okay, and this is b vector and this is a vector, this is a vector, okay. So let's say a vector dot of b vector is equal to, we prove that curl b vector dot a vector. I have to prove, okay. So let's say b vector dot of a vector is equal to what? B vector modulus of b vector modulus of a vector cos of minus a theta. Clear? And after that we can write that a vector b vector modulus of b vector cos theta. Okay, so it will be around a vector dot of b vector. Clear? It's proved. Okay, মানে মানে জিওমেট্রিক্যালি ইন্টারপ্রিটেশন, লেটস সে চলো জিওমেট্রিক্যালি প্রুভ, ওকে, geometrical geometrical so geometrical, the scalar product of two vectors, let's say this is a point o, this point is a, okay, and this is from point o to point sorry, point b, giving name, and this is angle name giving theta, okay, and this is point b, and this is the vector of a vector. So a vector is basically a vector and ob vector is basically b vector, and this is a hypotenuse, and this is a lombo n, okay. So the scalar product of two vectors, the scalar product of two vectors, scalar product of two vectors, basically two vector is মানে scalar product of two vector of one vector, and the length of the projection of the projection of the other in the direction of the other in the direction of the first okay, of the first. So let OA vector, basically A vector and OB vector is basically B vector. Okay, so A vector dot of B vector is equal to OA vector dot OB vector cos theta. Clear it is. So after that it will be OA vector dot OB vector to ON vector divided by OB vector. So ultimately the result will be OA dot OB ON. OA dot ON. So length of A, what will be the result? So length of A vector into projection of B along A, projection of B along A vector, projection of B along A vector. So that's the things. Okay, that's the things. Useful result, more some important result. What will be some important result? Let's draw some important result. That I vector dot I vector is equal to what? 1 dot 1 cos 0 degree will be 1. And I vector dot j vector, sorry, I cap dot j cap, it will be around 1 into 1 cos 90 degree. So its value will become out 0. So similarly we can say that j dot j cap is equal to k dot k cap dot k cap is equal to 1. Okay, and also we can say that similarly j cap dot k cap is equal to k cap dot I cap is equal to 0. Okay, you can say that. Note, if dot product of two vector 0, then the vector are perpendicular to each other. Important note that if the dot product of two vectors ठीक है, dot product of two vectors is 0 ठीक है, dot product of two vector is 0, then vector are perpendicular to each other, then the vectors are perpendicular to each other. Okay, then vectors are perpendicular to each other. Remember these things, that if two vectors are dot product is coming out 0, then definitely it will be perpendicular to each other. Okay, so work as a scalar product. Now work function as a scalar product. Okay, work function as a scalar product, and let's say this is point A, this is point B, and this I'm giving this point F, and this is theta angle, and I'm drawing a lombo from F to on B. So if a constant force, if a constant force F acting on a particle, displaces it from A to B, displaces it from A to B, displaces from A to B, then work done, what it will be, then work done from displacement from A to B, definitely then work done will be work done will be component along of displacement. Work done will be displacement. So displacement will be what? F cos theta into AB. So it will be that a vector dot ab vector. Okay, this is in this directions, and this is also this directions. So this will be ab. So work done is equal to force into displacement. So we can say that work done is equal to force into displacement. Clear it is? If it is clear, it is clear, then move on vector product or cross product. Vector product and cross product. Okay, so vector product and cross product, what it will be? So in vector product, let's say, checking it is connected. Okay, so for vector product and cross product, wait a minute. Okay, so for vector product, the vector and cross product of two vector, cross product of two vectors, vector and cross product two vectors, let's say a vector and b vector, a vector and b vector. Okay, is defined to be vector, is defined to be vector. Okay, is defined to be vector such that vector such that number one so before start condition, they are drawing a picture. This is, sorry, this is not so good. Let's remove it. Okay, so let's say this is x-axis. Okay, okay. This is a vector and so this is a vector, and this is b vector, and this is angle theta. Okay, and this is n cap. This is not on drawing well. So its magnitude at number one, its magnitude, what will be its magnitude, is a vector and b vector, a vector b vector sin theta, where theta is the angle between a and b, is the angle between a and B, where theta is the angle between A vector and B vector. Okay, theta is the angle between A and B. And it forms with right-handed system. Second, it formed with right-handed system. It formed with right-handed system. Let n cap be a unit vector, be a unit perpendicularly, okay, perpendicularly to both vector, to both vector a vector and a b vector. ঠিক আছে, so a cross of b vector, a vector cross of b vector, what it will be? It will be a vector dot b vector sin theta n cap. So let some useful important result, some important result, what will be the some important result? First হচ্ছে I cross I is equal to j cross of j is equal to k cross of k, okay, is equal to 0. And the second is I cross j is equal to k cap, and j cross of k cap I cap, and I cross of k cap is equal to what? Is equal to j cap. So this will be the things. Okay, so this is the some important result. Vector product and expressed as a determinant. Vector product expressed as a vector product expressed as a determinant. Okay, vector product expressed as a determinant. Now it is, so if a vector is equal to a1 I cap plus of a2 j cap plus of a3 k cap, okay, and b vector is equal to b1 I cap plus of b2 j cap plus of b3 k cap, b3 k cap. So a vector cross of b vector is equal to a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus of a3 k cap into b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus of b3 k cap. The result will be what? A1 b1 into I cap cross of I cap plus a1 b2 into a1 b2 into I cap cross j cap plus a1 b3 I cap cross k cap. Similarly, plus of a2 b1 into I cap cross of j cap cross of I cap I cap plus A2 B2 cross of J cap cross of J cap plus of A2 B3 J cap cross of K cap plus of A3 B1 K cap cross of I cap plus A3 A3 B1 A3 B2 A3 B2 is equal to K cap cross of J cap plus of A3 B3 K cap cross of K cap. So ultimately end of the result what it will come. So ultimate result will be, let's say I cross I is equal to 0. You know that it's not dot, it's called cross. So definitely this will be this will be cancel out, this will be cancel out, and this will be cancel out. So I cross J is equal to K cap. So A1 B2 K cap minus of A1 B3 I cross K is equal to J cap okay, minus J cap and minus of A2 B1 J cross I is equal to K cap. So minus K cap minus K cap and plus of J 0 and J cross K is equal to plus, so A2 B3 J cross K is equal to I cap plus of what minus of A3 B1 sorry A3 B2 A3 B2 I cross J মানে plus এ আছে J cross K cross J সমান K cross I সমান J. Okay, so it will be 1. So K cross J is equal to A3 B1. It will be around J cap minus of A3 B2 I cap. Clear it is. So after that what it will be come out. So let's say A2 B3 minus of A3 B2 I cap minus of A1 B3 minus of A3 B1 J cap plus A1 B2 minus of J2 B2 to K cap. ठीक है. So when you will do ultimate result, definitely it will be I cap J cap K cap A1 A2 A3 B1 B2 B3. So in the matrix form, after matrix form it will be present. Okay, so this will be the ultimate thing. I hope you understand. So after let's say solve as a problem. So let's create an example which will form of area of parallelogram. From example you can learn area of parallelogram. So find the area of parallelogram. Find the area of parallelogram. Those adjacent sides, those adjacent sides are I minus of 2j plus of 3k, okay, uh, and 2i plus of j minus of 4k. So find the solution will be, so vector area of a parallelogram, vector area of this, so it will be definitely I, j and k. I, j, k, and so 1 minus 2 and 3, and it will be 2 1 4, 2 1 minus 4. Okay, 2 1 minus 4. So definitely it will be the very much basic concept and basic formula. So it will be minus into minus of plus 8 minus of 3 to I cap plus of I cap minus of minus 4, minus 4 minus of plus 4, okay, sorry, minus 6, 4 plus 9, 2 into 3, so minus 6 into j cap plus plus of, so k cap it will be, so it will be 1 minus of minus of plus of 4, it will be the k cap around. The result will be basically 5 of I cap plus 10 of j cap plus 5 of k cap. So the area of parallelogram, so the area of parallelogram, what will be, so area of the parallelogram will be root over of what, 5 square plus of 10 square plus of root over of 5 square, so around 5 root 6, it will be the answer. So moment of a force, what will be the moment of a force? Moment of a force, moment of a force, what will be the moment of a force? So let a force F is equal to f of q vector, okay, at a point P. Momentum of F, okay, momentum of F about O, so is equal to product of force F, product of force F, okay, and perpendicular distance, and perpendicular distance, basically on into n cap, okay, zeta. So PQ will be PQ and on, zeta will be, let's say, PQ into OP sin theta n cap, okay, it will be OP vector into PQ vector. So M is equal to R cross F, M is equal to what will be R cross F. So angular velocity will be R cross angular velocity. Now the next topic will be what? Angular velocity. It was what? Moment of force. It will be angular velocity. Angular velocity. What is the angular velocity? Angular velocity, let's say this is a circle giving this point name is P, okay, and this is the middle point giving name A, and from the middle point to this point taking an axis, okay, axis, and it's connected with P, okay, with R, and the angle between this will be theta. And this point is A, and this point and giving this point is B, okay, and this is that the omega point, and this point is given that let's say this is V. So let a rigid body and that let a rigid body be rotating about the axis, rotating about the axis from where মানে OA axis, ঠিক আছে, this is rotating from that OA axis, from this is O point, this is point um, this point is naming given O point, so this is A point and this is O point. This is a rigid body and rotating about the axis of OA, OA, with the angle velocity omega, with the angle velocity omega, which is a vector, okay, which is a vector, and its magnitude is omega, and its magnitude is also omega, ঠিক আছে, magnitude is also omega. magnitude is also omega, রেডিয়ান মানে, ঠিক আছে, ভেলোসিটি, অ্যাঙ্গুলার ভেলোসিটি ওমেগা, আর মানে which is the vector and its magnitude omega radians per second, omega radians per second, ঠিক আছে, omega radian per second, and its direction parallel to the OA axis, and its direction parallel to the OA axis, ঠিক আছে, it is the direction to the parallel to the OA axis. So let P be any point. So before start this topic, I want to take little more break to drink water, okay, and I want to also check it that it is my technical things are properly working, or it is working. OA, axis of rotation OA. Okay, so let zeta be a unit vector perpendicular to omega and r. Omega and r, ঠিক আছে? So omega cross of r, what will be? It will be omega r sin theta is equal to omega ap and cap is equal to speed of p theta. So the velocity is velocity of p. So the velocity of p perpendicular to omega and r. Clear it is. So basically v will be omega vector cross of r vector. Okay, so here you can see that omega cross of r is equal to represent what? It represent the angular velocity. Clear my way? Clear it is. Okay, so and after that, let's say scalar triple product, very much enjoyable topic. Okay, so scalar triple product, ঠিক আছে, scalar triple product. So let a, b and c be three vector. Let a, b and c be three vector. Okay, be three vector. Then their dot product is written as dot product is written as a vector dot b vector